All right, I'm gonna give you 2 Easter eggs to go find. Be real curious to see if anybody can find these. Back when I was in high school in the mid 1980s, we had a filmmaking class that was an elective, and I guess it was like the final exam or the final project of the class was you had to actually make a movie. Now you have to understand, making a movie back then for, high school student or whatever was a whole lot different than it is now. We didn't have cell phones, most of us didn't have cameras. Basically, we had to film it on an old VHS camcorder, and VHS tapes were kind of a premium item. I mean, I can remember frequently having to decide whether or not I was going to keep something that was recorded or erase it to record something new, because the luxury of just, whip out another tape and record wasn't an option. I mean, I don't remember how expensive they were, but especially for a high school kid, they were expensive. And then editing wasn't like it is nowadays. I mean, we didn't just throw it on the computer and, precisely clip something down to, a millisecond and all that. This is how we did it. And I don't know if this was how everybody did theirs, but basically we would record the raw scenes with the camcorder, and that was our master VHS tape with the, rough cuts, as we called them. Then, this is where it would get tricky sometimes, because most people did not have 2 VCRs back then. I know it's hard to imagine that nowadays, but a lot of houses had 1 VCR, and so we would have to get together with friends and try to find, 2 or more VCRs, and then find the cables to hook them up. And so what we would do is we would play the rough cut tape through the cables into the other VCR, and then you'd sit there with it on pause and record, and you would literally be ready to go and hit pause to start the recording and pause again to stop, and you would try to get the scene recorded onto the new tape as best you could. And let me tell you, this was not easy, because number one, you didn't know what you had necessarily. So it's not like now where you just look in the software and back it up and, I didn't get it quite right, or let me trim off, this half a second or whatever. I mean, we would literally have to play it and then go, I didn't like that, and redo it. The other thing that you get with VHS, and probably anything similar, is loss of quality. So the original, the master, was the best quality. When you'd record it onto the new copy, you'd lose some quality right off the bat. And then, we would always have to make those kind of tough decisions. Did you record in the 2-hour speed, the 4-hour speed, or the 6-hour speed? Because, 2-hour would do the best quality, but obviously you'd only have 2 hours on a tape. And like I said, tapes were kind of a premium item back then. So once we would get all of the video footage, like I said, sitting there going, pause, try it again, and there was always seemed like a delay from the time you hit pause till it would actually record or whatever. So anyway, once you get all the video edited down onto this, quote, final, then we had to play it back and record it and add music and soundtrack and that sort of thing. And, none of us were extremely rich or anything. So, we would literally have to go to a Radio Shack, and it had this, I think it was a 4-channel mixer that was affordable enough that one of us had one and had the cables to hook it up. Again, all from Radio Shack. And so what you would do is then play the VHS tape and run the audio from it through this mixer, along with, maybe you had a Walkman to play the music, and maybe you recorded on cassette tapes some of the other sound effects. I mean, God knows where we would find these things, right? I mean, it wasn't like today where you get on the internet and, there's a million different sound effects pre-recorded. You just download and add them, right? I mean, so we had to figure out, like for gunshots, we took the shotgun blast from the Terminator. So here we have these pistol shots that are shotgun blasts from the Terminator, stuff like that. Anyway, so now with the sound, we're now at a third generation copy, right? Because we had the original, went to the video mix, and then the video and audio mix back to here. Well, then of course everybody wants a copy, right? Anybody that was involved in the movie in any way. So now we take that and copy that. So now everybody's basically getting fourth gen copies. And again, because of the premium of VHS tapes, people are going, well, maybe put mine on a 6-hour speed so that, I could have the movie and, a bunch of TV shows or whatever, So anyway, so that's how we made those movies. And like I said, there was a lot of work. And, beyond that, like the class, we talked about screenwriting and different, camera angles and things like that. Anyway, so now you know what we did. So here's the Easter eggs. The movie that I am in is one of the, quote, stars, because it was, my final project along with I think we did partners or something. So my partner and I are the stars of the movie. Well, we had what was generally said, not just by me, to be the best movie either ever or at least of our class. So we became kind of famous in school. So the first Easter egg, and this one won't be too hard for you to find probably, is find the movie that I'm in. It's out there on the internet, I know, because I've seen it on the internet. But there is a movie with me in it, and from high school, obviously not a real movie, just a high school project movie. But anyway, it's out there. So that's your first Easter egg. If you find it, post a link to it in the comments so I can see if you're right or not. Because of the movie being so popular, like I said, we kind of became popular in school. Well, then every future class that had this would ask one or both of us to get involved and help them too. So here's a neat little fact. The actress Alicia Silverstone was friends with my sister. They went to school together, grew up together. I went to school with her older brother. So I am in her older brother's project movie. I'm playing a bad guy. I'm playing a very inept bad guy. As I recall, my main scene, I fight with her brother, and I'm using nunchakus, and of course, I don't really know how to, I know like basically, but I look like I'm Bruce Lee in slow motion trying to use them. Anyway, that's the most that I remember of the movie, but find that one and post a link, because that's going to be the hard. I have not even seen it, 30 plus years since high school, and so I have not seen that one. As far as I know, that's not on the internet, and that may be because, shortly it may not be out there because of the fame that came to Alicia after that, or maybe the brother didn't want his stuff out there. I don't know. But like I said, I haven't seen it. I've looked for it, and I've even reached out to him, and he didn't respond. So I don't know if he's pissed off at me or just doesn't respond to anybody. Who knows, right? But I honest to God, knew him in high school, and obviously I knew Alicia when she'd come over to the house or whatever, hanging out with my sister. 2 Easter eggs. Find the video, movie, if you want to call it, that I'm in, that was our project, so that one will be a little easier to find. And then find the one with Alicia Silverstone's brother that I'm in. And I want to see if that one's out there. and I want to see how stupid I look in that movie because I already think I look kind of stupid in my movie, and that one I think I'm a lot worse in his movie. So anyway, let me know if you find them and post the link, and we'll watch them and comment on them and stuff.